Hello everyone. In this lecture, I'll be teaching you all the concept of partial order relation or partial order set, which is also known as a poset. So, let's see the definition. Any relation R over a set S is called a partial order relation if it satisfies the following three properties. So, if you are having a relation R over any set A, and if it satisfy, we usually represent a poset like this will be your set, and this will represent your relation. So this relation could be any symbol. This could be a symbol of greater than or equal to or less than equal to, or it could be a poset or any relation. And this is a set, and this set could be a positive or simple integer or R or anything. So this is the representation of a poset. Let's suppose you're having a relation R over a set A, and if it satisfies the following three properties, you can simply say that this is a poset. What are these properties? The first property is reflexivity, and the second property is the property of antisymmetry, and the third one is transitive property. So if any relation R over a set A satisfy these three properties, then you can simply say that this is a poset. Earlier, in the previous video, we have studied about the equivalence relation. The equivalence relation is also having these three properties, but only the difference is in, suppose this is a equivalence relation. So in case of equivalence relation, the first property is reflexivity itself, second is symmetric, and third is transitive. So this is the basic difference between a poset and equivalence relation. So you have to recall all these properties. What is called a reflexive property, what is antisymmetry, and what is transitivity. Let's move on to the next part. So let's see how to identify if a given relation is a poset or not. So suppose I'm taking an example of this. Means this is a set of integer and your relation is less than or equal to relation. Now just see if this is a poset or not. So I have just told you that you have to check all the three properties of reflexivity, antisymmetry, and transitivity. So first of all, let's create a set out of this. Means you have to make a set of all the integers, positive or negative, where this relation satisfy, means less than equal to relation is satisfied. So roughly let's make a set. So -1 and 1, this could be one element, as this is less than, means A is related to B, then A is less than B. In the same way, I'm just creating some values. So A related to B, so A should be less than B. So this is the relation where A is always less than B. So like this you can create few more randomly, choose any number. Then let's consider the die where both the values are same, as we have to satisfy the reflexive property. So -1 and -1, they are similar, equal to property. This could be 1, 0, 0 and 1, 1, or simply 10, 10, or anything, any diagonal element. This also satisfies this less than greater equal to property. Okay, now let's see if the following all the above properties satisfy. So first of all, check for reflexivity. Reflexivity simply means A is related to A, means it basically deals with all the diagonal elements. So any diagonal element will satisfy this less than not that's equal to property. So this is a reflexive relation. Second one is, let's see if it is transitive or not, or let's see if it is symmetric or not. So symmetric relations are, we have to satisfy that this is an anti-symmetric relation, and for that you have to prove that this is not symmetric. So to prove that this is not symmetric, you have to first check that if this is the case, -1 and +1, this satisfy the property. If I just reverse the means order, so this will be +1 and this will be -1, where this property get violated, means A is less than and equal to B. This property fails here as A is greater than B. So this symmetric property is fail here, means this is not symmetric, then this should be anti-symmetric, and in case of anti-symmetric we only consider the diagonal elements. So all the diagonal element, as this is reflexive, so this is also anti-symmetric. Simply to check if this is anti-symmetric or not, you have to first check it for the symmetricity and just prove that symmetricity is violated in this case and reflexivity is present. So this is also anti-symmetric. And the third thing that you have to prove is this is a transitive relation also. So a transitive relation means if A is related to B and B is related to C, then A is related to C. So this is called transitivity. So let's see if -5 and 0 is true for this, and if 0 and 1 is also true for this relation, means this relation will have this value, then -5 and 1 is also true. Yes, it is, as -5 is less than 1, so this could be a part of this set. So in this case I have proved that if you expand this relation, if you expand this set, so you can prove that this the whole set, this set, this satisfy the property of reflexivity, this is anti-symmetric also, and this proves transitivity. So you can simply say ki yes, this is a poset. Clear? In the same way, you can prove this relation for next. These are some already proven properties you can simply learn in your examination. So this is set of integer you have, and you have a less than or greater than equal to property. So this will also satisfy reflexivity also, anti-symmetric also, and transitivity also. So you can simply say that yes, this is also a poset in the simple way, in the similar way you can prove. Let's see the third property. Suppose I have a relation positive integer set and this is a divide sign. I have told you that you represent a poset like this. This will be your set, this will be your set, this part, and this part represent the relation. So in the same way I am representing the posets. So you have to prove that this is also a poset. What is the relation here? The relation is if A means A divides B gives you a positive number or give you a positive integer. So if you are having any A and B in the set and A is related to B, you are saying then when this you divide this, A is related to B, you divide this and then you get a positive integer, and you have to prove that if you are having such kind of a set, then the property is, I mean, all the three properties are true and this is also a poset. Let's see if this is a poset or not. So if you can see that this is a positive sign, means this is not a set of integer of negative and positive numbers, this only includes the positive ones. So see, if I write this and this, if I write okay, if I write like this, I mean, or this, reverse that because it will not give you a positive number. Okay, this relation could be like any, and this is 2, can divide 6, or simply 5, you can divide 10 with 5, you can divide um, any number 100 with 5, or you can divide 10, or you can divide 1 with 1, and you can divide 2 with 2, any such number where the result is positive. Any two numbers are divided and you get a positive result. So this is the condition. Now let's see, is this a reflexive property satisfied? Yes, as any diagonal element, any number divisible by that number will give you a positive number. ठीक? Next, if you want to check for anti-symmetry, then you have to see that symmetricity fail. So see what is the status of symmetricity? Symmetricity says, if you are saying that this is true for this relation, means 4 divided by 2 give you a positive number, and you reverse the situation, means you are writing like this. I mean, this will be the case. This will not give you a positive integer. Okay, so this is not true. I mean, the symmetricity fails. So anti-symmetry is true. Let's see the transitivity also. Means if transitivity is true or not. Means if A divides B and okay, if A divides B and B divides C, then you can simply say that A also divides C. Means something like this. This is also true. You can check for any random case. Okay. So transitivity will be also true in this case. So this is a poset. You can check like any, you can simply check the condition or you can do it by yourself. So these are the conditions that I have told you. Now you can simply solve this question whenever you get in the exam. You have to simply check the three properties and you have to prove that this is a poset or not. The most important one is the subset property. You know that you represent a subset like this. So let's see if this is true for a subset or not. Suppose the relation is like this. You have a poset and where you have a value s and you have a relation of this subset. So and this could be your question, or you can simply take the power set of s and a subset property and just see if this is a poset or not. So, for example, the S value is 1, comma 2. Now you have to calculate the power set of S. So, power set is defined as the set of all the possible subsets. So, 5, first value 1, this is 2 and 1, comma 2. These are the possible value that this poset can have. Okay. Now, if you want to see, you have to simply check the subsets in this group. So I can simply draw a matrix for that, so that you can simply solve this question. Okay, then I have to simply write down the values. So these are the values and this is 1, comma 2. Okay, the same way you can draw here also. Suppose I'm writing, wait, I'm writing 5 here, 1, this is 2, and this is again 1, 2. Okay, this is the very simple now, and you can simply write down. So you have to just tell the relation between these two. Either they are connected or they are not connected. I have drawn one. Okay, I should move this to this place. Okay, let's just see if they are connected or not. So, okay, just see. Suppose this is 5, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 1 comma and 2, and this is the blank one. Let me remove that. Okay, let's see. So phi is a subset of phi. Yes, any number is a subset of itself. Phi is a subset of 1. Yes, it is. Phi is a subset of 2. Yes. Phi is a subset of 1, 2. Yes, it is. Understood? Now you have to check 1 is a subset of phi. No, it is not. I can simply keep it as blank. 1 is a subset of 1. Yes. 1 is a subset of 2. No. 1 is a subset of 1, 2. Yes, it is. 2 is a subset of phi. No, it is not. 2 is a subset of 1. No. Yes and yes. 1, 2. No, it is not a subset of phi. It is not a subset of 1, not a subset of 2. Yes, this is a subset of 1, 2. So this is the matrix that you get. Now you can simply see that transitivity, reflexivity and anti-symmetry is true. See, you get all the diagonal elements, means this is a reflexive relation. You are not getting any symmetry, means mirror images, and you're getting only diagonal element, means anti-symmetry is also present. And you can simply check for transitivity also, means if phi is a subset of 1, 1 is a subset of 1, 2, then phi is also a subset of 1, 2. So in the case of any subset or power set, this the poset property is true. Now let's move on to the another topic, and that is the total order set. So whenever you want to see if the given number is a poset or not, you simply have to check the three properties, and you can simply say if this is a poset or this is not a poset. Now in this section, I'll tell you what is a total order set. If S is a poset and every two element within this poset are comparable, then you can say that this is a total order set. Or in simple word, let us suppose we have a relation R, like we used to write earlier, AR, or you can say that you have having a relation R, and this is, you have proved that this is a partial order set. If every element, suppose X and Y are the element that belongs to set A. So any two elements, whenever you pick up any two elements and they both are connected to each other in any order. Suppose I am saying ki I chose randomly X and Y. So X is either related to Y or Y is related to X. But these two elements or any random two elements within the, when you pick any two element from this set, you can simply see that these two elements are connected, and this is applicable on each and every pair. And so R is called the total order set, and or this is also called a linearly ordered set. So if you want to identify any term and if you want to see if any given set is also a total order set, the simplest way to do that is you can simply draw a diagram to see the connection between the elements, and you can simply see that it is a close connection, means every element is somehow connected to the other one, or any two elements are connected either in either order, either x and y are connected, or y is related to x. So this is applicable on all the possible pair. So this was the simplest example. Now let's consider a question and draw a diagram just to see if it's a poset. We have already proven this poset, means the divide operation. We have already proven a poset. So suppose A is equal to 1, 2, 4 and 8, means this shows the divisibility, means 8 is divisible by 4, 2, 1, 4 is divisible by 2 and 1, 2 is divisible by 1, and 1 is divisible by itself. So this is the relation that holds the divide property. If you want to draw the connection between these two, you can simply write down the connection, or you can simply draw the diagram. Suppose 1 comma 2, 1 comma 4, 1 comma 8. This will be a these are the pairs of this set, and what else, 2 comma 4 and 2 comma 8. What else, 4 comma 8, and all the diagonal elements like 1 1, 2 2, 4 4 and 8 8 and so on. So this is a possible pair, that, and this is a poset I'm saying, and you have to show me that this is also a total order set. Let's make the diagram. I'm simply converting these elements into the vertices. So this will be 4 and this will be 8. Now you have to show, this is roughly a diagram. I'm just trying to show the connection between the elements. So 1 can divide, arrow is not important, but if you want to put, you can put. So this can divide this simply. What 2 can do? 2 this, and 2 can divide this also. What 4 can do? 4 can divide 8. There is a self loop, as they can divide itself. I have just represented this into a diagram. Okay. So this is called a total order set. Why? Because if you chose any of the two random element, the element are somehow connected to each other. Either it's 1 2, or it's 1 4 1 8 2 4 1 8, anything. They are connected to each other. So this is how we represent the TOE set, means total order set. And let's move to another example. So simply any poset in which all the pairs are closely connected to each other, you can say that this is a TOE set or total order set. So let's consider one more question. So here we have a set S with values 1, 2 and 3. Suppose these are two subsets, S1 and S2. So S1 1 2 and S2 is 1 3. Now I'm saying that the relation is set subset. Is it a total order set? This is a partial order set. I have proven that. Now in partial order set, after partial order set, and the next step is to prove that either it's a TOE set or not, or total order set or not. So simply see, if I'm saying ki S1 is a subset of S, this statement is true. Okay. S2 is a subset of S. Yes. This statement is also true. But if I'm saying, if I'm taking it as vertex and I'm saying that S1 is a subset of S2, this is not true. And S2 is not a subset of S1. So if you take it as a vertex, so these two are connected, but these two are not connected anyhow. So this is not a total order set, but this is a partial order set. So this was an example of total order set. This was example of this Earlier was the example of poset and toset both. This is a poset, but this is not a total order set. So this is how you can identify. And there are various relations that we have discussed earlier that satisfy the total order set as well. Suppose if I'm saying this example for the poset, this is also a toset. You can, in the same way, this was a poset and this is also a total order set. You can, this is your homework, you have to do it by yourself. And the same way we were discussing any divide operation, this is was a poset and this is also a total order set. So this is how you can identify if the given relation is a poset by identifying the three properties that we have discussed, that is reflexivity, antisymmetry and transitivity. And if this is a poset, then you have to identify either it is a toset or not. It may be a toset or it may not be a toset. The next thing that I'm going to teach you is the Hayes diagram. What is a Hayes diagram? So it is basically a representation. We generally, as the total order set are closely connected and the graph contains so many loops, so we simply try to simplify. We are trying to simply modifying the diagram with the only simple connections, and this is how we represent a poset, and the heading will be a Hayes diagram. And in this section, I'll be teaching you how to draw a Hayes diagram and how it is different from a normal graph and how you have to model this. So there are certain rules that you have to follow. First thing, you draw this is also called a poset diagram. As you draw a poset with this Hayes diagram. What are the conditions that you have to you know avoid? So first of all, you have to convert each vertex. I mean, you will get the vertex from the element of the set. Whatever the poset is given, so the elements of poset will be the vertex of your diagram. The next rule is, like we were drawing reflexive relation, you should avoid no reflexive loops, or simple no self loop are allowed. You should avoid. Okay. Next, no transitive edge. What is the meaning of transitive edge? Okay, telling you. And you need not to draw the directions. Means directed edge. So what I am saying is, suppose you are having some A, B, C in your poset and this is a poset and now you want to draw a diagram. So you will simply convert, by this norm, you will simply convert this into three vertices of your diagram. What else you have to avoid? You have to avoid all the self loops. You represent reflexive relation with this A comma A or B comma B. So you should avoid. Don't draw. By default, it contains this edge. You don't have to draw this. Next, what you have to avoid is transitive edge. Transitive edge means if this is like this, you don't have to draw this one. This edge means A is connected to B is connected to C. So you don't have to draw this edge, this extra edge. This is called transitive edge. So, and you don't have to mention the direction. If I'm drawing like this, it means A is connected to B. You don't have to put the direction sign. This is how we simplify the Hayes diagram. These steps are important. So note it down. Now we'll be drawing some poset. We'll be drawing some Hayes diagrams. Okay. The first thing that you have to keep in mind in we move from lower to upper part. Okay. Okay, and I am writing A comma B. This is a ordered pair. Ordered pair, the order is very important in any ordered pair. Why? Because B comma A is not same as A comma B. So if I'm writing like this is BA. If I'm drawing like this, means lower to upper, this is AB. So these two are different, and this is an important point that you have to keep in mind. Now I'm having a question, and the question says you are having a set A with 1, 2, 4, 8, and it is a divide sign, means your poset is something like A and divide, and this is a poset. Now you have to draw a diagram. What diagram you have to draw? You have to not a normal one, you have to draw a haze diagram or poset diagram. Okay, now I will convert all the vertices into uh, first of all, let me make a canvas. Okay. Okay. So first of all, let's see. A is 1, 2, 4, 8. I have already draw this set in which I wrote like this: 1, comma 2, 1, comma 4, 1, comma 8, and 2, comma 4, 2, comma 8, and 4, comma 8, something like that. So now if I told you that you have to move from this to this, so 1 is the lowest, will be at the lowest level because 1 is connected to every other element. Keep it this way. Now you can simply draw this diagram by simplifying like this. This is the haze diagram of this representation. I'm not showing each and every connection. Why? The actual diagram is like this. This is the haze diagram. What I have avoided all the self loops. Means 1 can divide 1, yes. 2, 4, 8. This is also a part of this, but I have avoided this. As this is a haze diagram, not a normal diagram. In the same way, this edge 1 is connected to 2. This is also, and this is also true. In the same way, 2 is connected to 4, 2 is connected to 8 is also true. These are, what are these? These are transitive edges that I am avoiding. I'm not writing. If I'm saying 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, this is already connected. 1 and 8 are connected. You don't have to draw the extra edges. So this is how we draw a haze diagram. The actual haze diagram is like this. Means lowest element from which all the elements are connected, and then you have to move on like, not every time the graph will be like this. As the question changes, your graph will also change. Now let's see another example. And that is a poset. How we can represent a poset using a haze diagram? This is how you can draw. The relation is, second question is, this is a power set of A, and we have already proved that this is a poset. Now you have to draw a diagram. Suppose A is given as 1, 2, and 3. First of all, you have to calculate the power set of A. This will be this: 1, 2, what else? 3, and this will be 1, comma 2, 2, comma 3, 1, comma 3, 1, 2, 3, something like this. This is the power set. Now you have to draw the diagram. Means matrix connection, what is the subset of which element is the subset of which element. So this will be the at the lowest element, because according to the earlier matrix we have shown that we have seen that phi is subset of each and every element. So first of all I'll draw phi here. This will be at the lowest end. So 5 and 1, 2 and 3. Okay. So 1, 2 and 3. After avoiding all the self loop, this is connected to this is connected to this is connected to this. Now what else? Now you have a 2 comma 3, and you have a 1 comma 2, and you have a 1 comma 3. Okay. So 3 and 2 gives you 3 is a subset of 2 3, 2 is a subset of 2 3. Okay. And 3 and 1, 3 is a subset of 1 3, and 1 is a subset of 1 3. 2 is a subset of 1 2, 1 is a subset of 1 2. Okay. And now we have another element 1 2 3. So this will be the Hayes diagram. As you can say, there is no reflexive edge, I mean self loop, no self loop, no direction, no transitive edge. I have not drawn anything like from there. So this is your Hayes diagram. This is how you draw a Hayes diagram. Let's see another example. Okay. And the is third question is, suppose the relation says divisible by 6. Now p value is 1 2 3 and 6. Now divisible by 6, so simply the lowest element will be 1. Okay. And this is 3 and this is 2, as 1 divides 3, 1 divides 2, 1 also divides 6, but this will be a transitive edge indirectly. So this is the closed figure and this is the Hayes diagram. This is a total order. These are all total order set. Let's move on to another example. This will be your fourth example. What's that? Suppose you're having a set 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, and the poset was the divide operation. So simply you can draw, this is 1, okay, this will be 2 and 3. Okay, now what will be 4? Okay, 4 you can divide by 2. Okay, oh, only 2 and 1 also. Next element is 6. This divisible by this, divisible by 1 also. And then last one is 9. So I have shown all the possible connections and I have avoided all the self loop, all the transitive edges. So this is the Hayes diagram. No self loop, again I'm repeating, no self loop, yeah, or no reflexive edge. No directions, no transitivity. It is present in the diagram, but this is the haze diagram, not a normal diagram. So you don't have to mess up with all the unnecessary edges. And the last one is D12. So the fifth one is D12. This is the divide sign. Roughly, this could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Diagram will be like this. 1 is dividing 3 and 2, and 3 is dividing 6. 2 is also dividing 6. 4 is single. These two can divide 12. This is how you can draw the haze diagram. So that's all for this lecture. In the next lecture, I'll be teaching you how to find out the minimal and maximal element, upper bound and lower bound in the haze diagram. Thank you. Have a nice day.